a documentary that is on Netflix. It's called Long Shot. And it's fucking sick because it's a true story, right? And spoiler alert, if you guys haven't seen it, skip ahead. But I'm going to tell you guys what it's about or whatever. It's definitely still worth a watch regardless. I mean, even if you see like the trailer for it or whatever, I think it gives away like everything that I'm going to mention here. But pretty much it's this dude that was arrested for a murder. He got life in prison and he was on death row, basically. Not basically, like he was. And he always maintained his innocence, but there was no substantial like proof behind it or anything like that. Which is a motherfucker to me, because it's kind of like a lot of the actual innocence like podcasts that I've mentioned to you guys in the past, and like stories that I hear of people that are exonerated after like 10, 15, 20 years in prison, and you find out that they were locked up due to an eyewitness account, but then an eyewitness like alibi account doesn't weigh as much. Like, I don't know, that's just like fuck. That just seems like so broken to me. But I kind of get it too at the same time, because it's like, oh, if your mom or your sister say, oh yeah, he was in the house all day, it's kind of like, of course they're gonna lie for you, like type of thing. But fuck, man, how reliable, how much weight is put behind just like eyewitness testimonies if that's all that they have to go by, Anyway, so supposedly he drove up and like shot this girl in her driveway, and then drove off with a couple of other guys, and he went to jail for it. I forget how many years he was in jail, but again, always maintaining his innocence. And they, like in the documentary, they get into, okay, so where were you if you didn't do this? And he was like, he was at a baseball game with his daughter. He was at a Dodger game, and he used to go supposedly all the time. He was a big Dodgers fan, and he had tickets, and I think his boys canceled on him or something like that. And he had an extra ticket, and he was going to go with his girl, but then decided to take his daughter to the game, and just went, him and his daughter went to the game. And he supposedly, I don't remember if he had the tickets. I think he did, because you still like keep the tickets, but supposedly that wasn't proof enough, because you could buy them after the fact or whatever. But there was no like trail of him buying it, but just like had the stubs or whatever. At least that's how I remember. Or maybe he couldn't like find the stubs at all. But either way, that didn't work to like get him off, right? Then this attorney that took on his case like pro bono, he like went through the video, like the archived video, surveillance cameras and stuff like that of the stadium. And there's like 50, 40,000 people there or whatever, 70,000 people, whatever it is, in a baseball stadium. And it's like, what are the odds that we're actually gonna like see him? So they went through like hours and hours and hours of footage, and they actually do get to focus in on the section that he said he was sitting in, and you see him there, but it's a very grainy, you see him and his daughter, it's a very grainy video from far away that happened to catch like a glimpse of him. And like that wasn't enough to get him off either. So then like somebody I think at the stadium mentioned, oh, there was a film crew here that day. Maybe they had other footage that we didn't have on the surveillance videos and stuff like that. And supposedly the camera crew that was there was filming an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is Larry David's TV show on HBO. So the attorney winds up contacting them. And, he sees the episode. The episode is, obviously the episode didn't have the guy there in the stands, but they were like looking for him to see if they see him like in that episode or whatever. They didn't. So they contacted the HBO film crew, and they say that they have like, tons of scenes and stuff like that get edited out and like extra footage, and that the attorney can, go through that if they want to, and see if it helps. And the attorney does that, and long story short, in that cutout footage, you clearly see the dude that was in jail as well as his daughter. And that's not even the sickest part. The sickest part is that the guy, like the film crew is like, well, the guy gets up because the girl says that she wants ice cream, the little girl. So imagine if she didn't say she wanted ice cream, but she says that she wants ice cream. The dad gets up, takes her out to go get ice cream. And then when he's coming back to his seats, like they're asked to like hold off, like the usher or whatever, like holds them off. Because Larry David is there in that aisle filming a scene. Like they're literally in his section, the section exactly where he has to walk in. And the film crew is there filming. And but Larry David's like more towards like the bottom, and his seats are more towards like the top of the section. So he's standing there, and then they're just filming. They ask him to hold off, and then the camera guy says, "You know what? You guys can go actually, because you know if your seats are right there, you know, just go sit down, whatever." But they kept the camera rolling, and the guy said, "All right, cool, thanks." And he goes to sit down, and you see him there. His daughter goes in first. He goes there. You see the back of his head. He turns, and you see him one like clear as day. You know, HD video right there in front of the fucking camera, like he's there. And then like that was definitely the breakthrough in the case, but that alone wasn't enough to get him off, because the hours of like they pretty much said that he still had enough time to like take his daughter home and then drive to the girl's house, which was nearby his home, and shoot her, because there was like just enough time for him to like pull that off, supposedly. But what that did do was like open up the his like incriminating statements that he said when he was getting interrogated by the cops, and they were like deliberately trying to get him to like incriminate himself, and they gave like leading questions and answers and deceptive testimony from their points of view, like to the point that they wound up getting like removed from being cops, and like one of them was reassigned and one of them was completely like fired or whatever. I forget what the technical term is when a cop is decopped. And that eventually got him off. And I forget how many years he was in jail, but thereafter they found the real killers who actually did it, which was 4 gang members. And it's just sick how shit like that happens, and how just like on a human level, from the cops' point of view, and like they're looking for a win, right, in their column, for like we got a crime, we got a guy that we think did it, let's make it so that he did it, and that's our win. That's our job, right? Our job is to catch bad guys, put them in jail, catch bad guys, put them in jail. So they have this like very tunnel visioned view and objective that winds up, one, fucking up a person's life for at least a large part of it, you know, putting them in jail, you know, that experience, that time lost, that grief that him and his family went through, is you can't erase that no matter what. And while you are tunnel visioned on this one person, that you're making it so that he did it, but you have the guys that really did it, the fucking 4 gang members that really committed a murder, still out there, while you're pinning it on somebody else. And I'm not saying that they deliberately said, you know, we know this guy didn't do it, but let's make it so that he did. And I can't pretend to know what it's like to be a cop, but be a detective interrogating potential homicide committer. And you know that you're in a business that people are constantly lying to you, and you have to like sift through that for the truth. Not pretending I have any idea what any of that is like, but I do believe that at some level we have to like look at our actions, our patterns, our habits, our inclinations, and analyze them and make objective determinations on, why am I pushing so hard towards this direction? Is it because I think he did it and I'm trying to uncover the truth, or is it because I'm trying to close this case out so I can get to the next one? Or realizing, you know, what I'm doing is giving leading questions that, you know, push a person to a corner and make them respond the way that you want them to respond. Like that's like just like a psychological, you know, human interaction dialogue tactic. Like, if this person is guilty, do I need to go that route in order to uncover the guilt, or is there a more like direct, clearer, non-muddy way to like get to that? I don't know. It was a sick documentary. Again, it's called Long Shot, and it's on Netflix. Check